Hello and welcome back to the E-Arsenal podcast. We are recording literally about half an hour after the Stoke game, and so we'll be talking about that. Not quite sure how to feel about it yet. I think overall a point is about what we deserved, and I think we don't like to drop points again, obviously 2 consecutive league games, but I think it's one more point that we could have probably taken away in previous seasons. We hope to be joined by John, an 1886 Woolwich on tonight's show, but he's in the States, so unfortunately we haven't been able to set that up tonight, so we endeavour to get him on the show very, very soon. In the meantime, welcome back Mr. Diamond Jack.
Hello. Yes, half an hour after the trip into Mordor, and here we are. So we shall see what happens, I suppose.
Indeed, yeah. I think, like I said just at the start there, I think it's a point that we wouldn't have taken away, probably not necessarily last season, but in seasons past, and.
Well, I think it's a point that Manchester City, Manchester United and Chelsea haven't taken away this year.
I completely agree. Yeah.
So, in that sense, I think it's a very valuable point to take away. But I think that
the win was there, wasn't it?
I think that there were certain points where you felt that we were going to nick something. I do completely agree with the Man of Match award being given to Petr Cech, but it really could have been given to Jack Butland or Petr Cech. I really like Jack Butland. I think he's a very, very talented goalkeeper already, and he could really push on and become a very, very top goalkeeper.
Well, I mean, Joe, exactly. I mean, for the sake of, and I know how much you love England and international football generally, but for Butland, I think he's 22, 20. I think he's younger than that, 23 maybe. And Joe Hart, sometimes, he has great games and then he's a bit suspect, but and he won't be sticking around for forever. So I think we're in safe hands in that department. I
do have an irrational hatred of Joe Hart, however. I don't like him.
Would you like to explain why?
No, I don't really have a reason why. I just don't like his stupid face.
Hence the irrational nature.
Yeah, and and he's in a stupid advert for a shampoo, and just don't like him, really.
Okay, well, I suppose I would dislike him for that. The advert, but
I think Jack Butland had a very good account of himself. I don't think either goalkeeper had much to do. We only had 3 shots on target the entire game to Stoke's 4, I think. 5. They had 5? Okay. I think that if you're right, in previous years we would have fallen by the wayside a little bit and let Stoke get at us a little bit more. But they are not that type of side anymore, and we are more equipped to deal with that kind of side of football now. I do think that there were a couple of performances in our side, though, that really, players at least, really need to have a bit of a look at themselves.
Okay, yeah.
Theo Walcott, I'm really, really starting to lose patience with him now.
He struggled. He's on play on the left today, wasn't he? He struggled to get inside of Volscheid, and Glenn Johnson had a really good game, I thought.
Yeah, but that's saying something. Then, if Glenn Johnson's having a game against you, you know something ain't gone right, because he's not the most talented, defender in the league. But I want so much more from Theo Walcott than what he provides for you, because, as far as I'm concerned, he's basically just a sprinter. He doesn't have a footballing brain. He is a sprinter, and he don't even do that very well. Like, if I'm Theo Walcott, I should never receive the ball standing still. It should always be played into my feet on the stride. And he just never does it. He never makes space for himself. He always seems to make the wrong decision. And every time he does something that is really very good, it's because he hasn't got time to think about it.
Right, yeah. So you, with the no footballing brain statement, I think was it Alan Shearer said it? It's certainly Alan Shearer or Alan Hansen, one of the two, that said it.
I thought it was Glenn Hoddle said it.
I think it was. Yeah, okay, possibly. I think. I'm not sure. I'll have to check that out, but we'll go with that. We'll run with that. Yeah, I don't know. He was on the shoulder, and I think we've said in the past that he's the ultimate confidence player, really, isn't he?
Yeah, but he isn't filling me with confidence at the minute that he can prove me wrong. You know, he scored a hat-trick on the last game of the season last year. All the pressure was off. Nothing, you know, there was no kind of need for him to do that. You know, the season was already over by that point. But I think people who love Theo Walcott will all have to admit that he hasn't hit the heights of what he promised in his early career. And he looked really pissed off when he came off today.
He looked shocked, yeah. Really? Am I coming off?
I wish that he'd put some more of that into his game. Do you know what I mean? Like he uses a bit of anger in his game, but he won't because he's nicey Theo Walcott. So not good for me personally.
Yeah. So I think we've discussed in the past how Stoke have changed. They certainly have, no shadow of a doubt. Unfortunately, when the two of us meet, when Arsenal and Stoke clash, wherever, certainly the Britannia, the Aaron Ramsey issue crops up again, and unfortunately, this is the problem I've got with Stoke, and why we lovingly call them the Orcs, and certainly not just us two, but most Arsenal fans, I would suggest. When you get a chance of he walks with a limp, Aaron Ramsey walks with a limp, and I mean it's like they're it's no secret, but they're proud of what Ryan Shawcross did. And let me say at this point, Shawcross, his tackle Ramsey, there was no malice in what it was. So for me personally, it was an accident. I don't hold anything against Shawcross, and I think he's a good player. I think he's a strong player. There's certain people have been suggesting he should be called up for England squad, not for me really, but he's still a good player. And I love the banter. Our away fans are brilliant as far as I'm concerned. And then we came back with Aaron Ramsey. He's won more than you, basically, and I think it was fantastic.
Yeah. Was there a question or
no? It was just it's just a general comment, really.
Okay. I think that I think that that's a disgusting song to sing about a professional footballer who's had a life-changing, not just career-changing, a life-changing injury like that.
It's huge. It's not just career-changing. It's psychological scars on him were massive, and he didn't shake them off for at least 3 years.
And football fans sing, on the edge kind of songs all the time, and it's
well
one of those
over the
things.
edge sometimes.
Well, yeah, massively over the edge sometimes as well. But if that is the case, people get reprimanded for it. I think that it's a disgusting chant, and I hope that the Stoke fans never have a player who goes through the same thing as Aaron Ramsey went through. With it, I know they say that it didn't start with the whole Aaron Ramsey thing. Apparently, there was some comment that was made about them beforehand. I don't know. I don't know anything about that, but it's just the way that they carry themselves as a football club. That they were proud of the way that they hoofed the ball up the midfield, and they were almost the flag bearers for the English game and stuff like that. Now don't get me wrong. I'm all for a bit of violence every so often, but they're just they weren't, and they're not that in any way, shape, or form, and they're just a horrible little football club. And as much as I wouldn't want anyone's clubs, I wouldn't want to anyone's clubs go out of business or anything. It's there are a few prime candidates out there, and they're definitely on my list. But I just think that they are. It's almost like when you want to sort of leave something alone. You know what I mean? You just want to move on with something, but they are just obsessed with us. They're absolutely obsessed with Arsenal and hating our fans and how we're all posh latte drinking, lentil bean eating, and they're just lunatics.
I can't understand that viewpoint. I have to be honest.
Well, they're just You can't understand it because you're not a moron, mate. That's why.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
That's why you
strong
can't.
comments. That is just a strong word.
Strong or
word.
truthful, it's. I've never met a Stoke fan I like. Let's put it that way.
I've never met a Stoke fan.
There you go. There you go.
Probably for the better. But, anyway. So we played a 4-3, obviously without, as we'll come to in a minute, we played a 4-3-3, generally a 4-3-3 system, played Chamberlain and Flamini, who I thought was really good today, actually. Made a lot of good tackles. Was covering back really well. And Chamberlain, I think, I don't want to say he shone, but because it was a really scrappy game generally, certainly the first half. But in those terms, I think he stood out quite well.
He played a lot better in the second half for me.
Yeah,
like loads better. I think the first half it was difficult for him to put himself about because, like you say, it's such a scrappy game and
never seen such bad passing.
Well, no one could get a foothold in the game. I think that both teams were a bit nervous going into it, it looked like.
We were well up for it at the start. I was impressed with our tempo. I'm not sure that Mark Hughes was expecting that at all.
No. It was strange because since the Liverpool game, a lot of Stoke players have come out and go, yeah, actually, that's the way we're going to play against Arsenal. You'll see high pressing game, blah blah blah.
Stoke can't press,
and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
No, it just didn't happen. And I feel like there were definitely opportunities for us to score a goal and nick something from the game. But
so
Chambo,
there was nothing particularly really. A real chance apart from perhaps Ramsey's cross from the corner.
Yeah,
to
Giroud's. That I think I was watching it with my dad, and I thought he could potentially have got a bit more of power behind it personally. But after looking at it again, there really wasn't much he did wrong. But I think that if you're running onto that from a forward position as opposed to a side position, because he sort of craned his neck round and hit it like a side header almost.
Yeah.
If he's running straight onto that and putting his whole weight behind the ball and heading it like a Shearer would, for me, I think that goes in. But it's hard to criticise it. I thought Olivier had a pretty decent game again today.
Couldn't really get into it, I thought, but I think
no, and it's hard when you've got two centre halves in the making of Stokes, and they didn't kick him off the park or anything, but he did get a couple of knocks and that kind of stuff, and it's very difficult to do that. But I thought he gave a bit of a good account of himself.
Yeah, I noticed they're quite physical with Ramsey, to be honest.
Imagine,
right? Yeah. So yeah, it just seemed to me without Özil on the pitch, who. The news broke about 20 minutes before the game that he wasn't on the bus, or he didn't turn up on the coach to Stoke.
He didn't travel.
He didn't travel, basically. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. And it showed to me there was no real quality on the pitch throughout the whole team, really. No intricate passing. Joe, again, we talked last week on Thursday about Joel Campbell's his vision and his eye for a pass, and that was there to some extent. But I just think, I
think he was the biggest outlet for it, definitely. And I thought when Alex Iwobi came on as well,
really impressed with him.
Really, really impressed with him. He had some really nice touches, some really nice through balls that he was laying off to Monreal, and when he was on the overlap and stuff. I think that Joel was definitely the biggest outlet for kind of creative play, creative passing and stuff. But that's what happens when you have the most creative player in the league drop out of your side. Now it's a toe injury. They're saying is the problem.
It's a minor foot injury. That's what.
Yeah. So it shouldn't be too long. Maybe he dropped a cup of tea on his foot or something. So it shouldn't be too long for him to be out. But we definitely need him back for Chelsea because that's a different kind of kettle of fish to what we were playing against today.
Yeah, definitely.
Why do you think you didn't put El Nene on?
I think he just wasn't probably the right time for him. He wasn't the right sort of temperament for his game, I would suggest. It's a really to play anyone in their debut at the Britannia is an incredibly hostile environment, and that's what I said about Iwobi as well. Like when he came on, I think he had 15 minutes maybe. It looked like he got a really good head on his shoulders, and it's one of them. It's such a hostile environment at the Britannia, and he looked just calm. He was looking up. He was looking for the passes, spraying the ball around a little bit.
We were questioning whether he wears his socks so low because he's not actually wearing shin pads at all.
That's crazy. Yeah.
We were saying, is it because he's like that hard, or he's just like, I'm playing against Stoke. What's the point in wearing shin pads? Because I know I'm going to get my leg broken or something.
I couldn't work out.
It's very old school, isn't it? It's super like 80s of him like playing with like super low socks on. I'm a big fan of him.
Who else? It's like I think Welbeck used to play like that. With
Wilshere as well. No, Sanchez. One of them did.
Yes, possibly something. But Sanchez has got like those space boots, hasn't he?
Yes, true.
Which kind of annoy me. They get on my nerves. Those space boots. I couldn't work out whether he had. I couldn't work out. He didn't look like he was wearing boots at all. It looked like he was wearing sort of like
running around in slippers. Yeah.
But his performance was good. Yeah,
I was very impressed with him when he came on. But I think that when Alex Iwobi is your only attacking threat to come off the bench, it's a bit of a problem. Now I know that we've got a lot of players out at the moment, but it's very difficult to go to somewhere like Stoke and only have Alex Iwobi on the bench. And if you need something from the end of the game, you know what I mean? Like put him on there. I do agree with you to a certain extent of why I didn't bring Nane on. But I did think that towards the end we did need a little bit of shoring up because we had one cleared off the line right at the end, and
Ramsey
did, which was very, very good. But it felt like they were breaking a lot more towards the end and sort of not tearing our defence apart, but laying through balls that were taking out six players at a time almost. Sometimes it was quite strange.
Yeah, I think in that scenario, you think about you could bring El Nani on. It's like, well, do we stick or twist? And it's like it's happened before, not just with us. It's the risk of changing the shape, bringing on a player that, especially let alone he's on his Premier League debut,
true, in
the toughest league in the world, and then he could come on and win the game. He could influence, but equally he could lose it for us. So I think, and if he does that, then it's just the worst possible start for a player who I think is going to be very important for the rest of the season. At least I hope so. So we spoke a little bit about Czech. It's such an important. Czech's 10th clean sheet of the season in 23 games. I think we played 23 games. It's so. The players believe it's like. I think I've worked out that when Czech's there, I think Mertesacker he's able to not be per Mertesacker, if that makes sense.
Be a better per Mertesacker.
Yes, right. Not necessarily at Anfield, I thought, on Wednesday, even though he didn't play particularly badly. But I think he just checks out, it's like, yeah, he's going to save that. And even when on the rebound, I can't remember whose shot it was, but he palmed it away, and then Bojan was there.
That was amazing.
He got across so well.
That was genuinely amazing, and we all said it. If that's Szczesny in the goal, the first one goes in underneath him. He doesn't even make the first one, but and it was funny because we were sitting there, and the shots come through. Czech saved it, and we're looking at him go, come on, get up, and he didn't, and it was quite slow, his reaction time of actually getting up. But I think that it was just the most amazing save, and I still can't believe we've signed him. Like, it feels like everything, all of the stars have aligned in order for us to get him, with all this because it felt like it was never going to happen that Chelsea were going to sell him to us. And, we do have a Chelsea legend playing for us now, but he's very quickly becoming an Arsenal legend.
Very quickly becoming an Arsenal legend, yeah.
I can't... and they're not easy saves. This is the thing. They're not just... It's not just for the cameras. It's not just for the to enhance his reputation or anything. These are hard saves to make, but he just makes it look easy. There was a couple of punches from crosses as well that just completely dominated the forwards to punch the ball clear and stuff. And I just feel so confident with him in goal. And that's a goalkeeper that's conceded 4 goals 2 weeks ago, and you never felt like that before with our previous goalkeepers since Jens Lehmann. You know what I mean? It's so refreshing. It's so much better. But we were having a conversation at half time about, and I know it's a little bit in the future at the minute, but after Petr Cech goes, and we just need to start buying quality goalkeepers again and not promote him from within, because it just doesn't work. I don't think you just need to buy proven goalkeepers at the peak of their career and let them develop somewhere else. I think from now.
I think it's a good point. Whenever we've had really solid goalkeepers, we've brought them in. Seaman, I think we brought him from QPR. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say I wouldn't class Alex Manninger as quality, but I think we brought him from. Oh goodness me.
That's it. Was it
Salzburg?
I thought it was going to be Rapid Vienna, potentially.
So it's an Austrian club, possibly, yeah. And obviously we checked Chelsea. So
and Jens for Dortmund.
Yeah, obviously crazy Jens, a little bit of crazy Jens. Yeah, so I think you're absolutely right. I mean, the goalkeeping talent's definitely there, and it's just a case of not. I mean, I don't see any future with Damien Martinez. I think he's gone out on loan this season, and Szczesny back to Arsenal apparently. Good luck with that. That's what I'd say. So yeah, we need to keep an eye out for. I mean,
didn't one of the Roma coaches call him the most bonkers person he's ever met? Something along those lines. Like, he's just a lunatic, Ches. But
unfortunately, that Roma coach has been sacked now.
Has he?
I don't know how much it's got to do with Wojciech Szczesny, but I've not been following too much of Italian football, as you might understand.
Because you've got other things to do, like watch paint dry and, you know, count.
It's not quite that bad.
Count grains of sand on a beach.
Well, yeah, quite. So, I mean, Koscielny, I don't know, he looked solid defensively, but his passing was pretty poor today. I don't want to really necessarily pinpoint that too much, because I think overall the performance was a little bit sloppy anyway.
I think it was a pretty good performance. It wasn't... Look, the league isn't going to be won and lost on this performance. And, you know, I said that I wanted 7 points out of the 3 games. We've got 2 now, so that's not going to happen. But if we beat Chelsea next week, then, blimey, everyone's going to be fired up after that.
Shall I give you the run of fixtures we've got? So
yeah, go for it.
We've got Chelsea at home, and we've got Southampton at home. Is that right? I think we've got 3 games at home. I think.
Yes, Burnley in between those 2.
Yeah, obviously Burnley. So Chelsea, Southampton, and Leicester. No, and then Bournemouth. Hold on.
Go well.
So yeah, sorry, listeners. But I think it's with Chelsea, Southampton, and Leicester at home, and then Bournemouth away, then Man United away. No, that's not right. I apologise. Anyway, but I can tell you we've got Leicester, Bournemouth, Chelsea, and Man United, and all Southampton in our next 5 fixtures, whether it be home or away.
I know that it's Chelsea at home next week.
It's definitely Chelsea.
And Leicester is at home in a couple of weeks' time as well, because we've already played them away from home.
And we've already played Southampton, obviously. A wonderful result.
Yeah, wonderful.
So that must be at home as well. So I think I'm actually right, but it doesn't make sense.
So, you know, I think you've got to win your home games. That's the very bare minimum if you want to win the league. You've got to win your home games, and you've got to get points away from home somehow, you know, whether it's draws or wins.
It's both Bournemouth away and Man United away, definitely.
There you go. And I think after Manchester United is Barcelona away as well. So
interesting, yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be tough. But, you know, if winning the league was easy, everyone would do it. And I don't know. I just want us to murder Chelsea next week and really push on from there. But like I say, if we beat Chelsea next week, I think then people will start to actually believe that we can really win the league. Really, truly start to believe. Because at the minute it's a bit like, well, maybe, blah, blah, blah. And everyone expects City to go on a bit of a run and stuff like that. But if we put something past Chelsea next week, then we really could be in a strong position to challenge for this league.
As whenever we play Chelsea, it's always a massive if.
Yeah, of course. But, they're not a good side. We should beat them.
I mean, I think they can't keep a clean sheet. So,
imagine if they had a half decent goalkeeper.
Well, they do. Courtois very decent. I just think the defence is just.
Has he got 10 clean sheets this year though?
No. Yeah, no. Nice. Bazing. Did you watch the United Liverpool game?
You say watched. I sort of watched it as I was falling asleep halfway through it, but I did watch it. Yes. What
did you think?
It was a very good goal from.
It was a great
Wayne
finish,
Rooney.
I thought.
Really good goal from Wayne Rooney. And I think that Liverpool potentially didn't deserve to lose the game.
No way.
But I think that's them out of the top four now. Really and truly, it's all over for them. It was a strange game. There's a lot of Liverpool players that again need to sort of have a look at themselves, and I think there's going to be a bit of a clear out up there because there's some players that are just beyond a joke, like Lallana, Henderson, Joe Allen. Just
it's different now that they've obviously got a different manager because Henderson under Rodgers was really good. I think he's playing a different role now. I think Klopp wants Shane Long from Southampton.
Good move.
And having obviously signing Charlie Austin. What word on that?
Cannot believe that. £4 million, and someone said, "Who was it?" Someone come out in the press today and said, "Well, yeah, Charlie Austin £4 million, but his salary is £100,000." Oh no, it was Dave Gould from West Ham. Said,
Dave Gould, right?
His wages are £100,000 a week. So you tell me if you still want to sign him. Yes, I still want to sign him.
Proven player.
Absolutely, he's a goal machine. That's all he does is score goals. I'd love to have had a look at him for £4 million because there's no like.
Well, I can't believe the fee because I know his contract is there's a big difference between having a year left and 6 months, and you can definitely wind it down. But I thought £4 million. What? Surely they got for like 5 or 6.
Well, bearing in mind that last year he was being rated a 15.
I mean, even before when the window opened, a couple of papers I read, he's still worth £15 million.
It's unbelievable. I do not know how they've done it.
Leicester got a £12 million bid turned down, and all of a sudden now he's gone to St Mary's.
How does that work though?
For a third of the fee.
It's ludicrous. It's bonkers, and I'm sure he's going to be fantastic down there. And I was just saying, it's just a win-win situation for the club because if he turns out to be a flop, you've only spent £4 million. It's nothing in this modern age. You know what I mean? All right, his wages might be quite large, but whose wages aren't large at a football club anymore? And if he works out to be, the next Matt Letizia, then blimey, it's just awesome, fantastic result for him. But just what a result for him! Really, really made up for him. Gutted that we didn't have a look at it.
Yeah, I think I spoke of it. I think he's not a Wenger player, and I think Wenger doesn't like looking down to the Championship. But I think he looks down on players. He's not top quality, but that's one of my better impressions. I thought.
Yeah, better.
Thank you very much. But he's just that was never going to happen for us. Unfortunately, I would have loved it as well.
Why didn't he sign him when he's a Premier League player then?
Well, he's not. I know what you're saying, but he's below Wenger's level. Unfortunately, I think he's not really.
It's rubbish.
It's not like Wenger to really go after a hard-working centre forward.
If that's a genuine thing that he's got, that they're below his because they don't play for a fashionable football team, or they don't look a certain way, or they don't act a certain way.
Wenger wants top quality, and if it's not top quality in his eyes, then he won't be interested. Really, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's unfortunate because
Yaya Sanogo just the toppest of all qualities. You know what I mean? Just what a talented player.
The quality's there. We spoke a little bit about.
At least Charlie Austin's got 2 legs. Yaya Sanogo, mate, that's the biggest one for me. Like, if you're willing to punt out on someone like that, let's have it right. He's rubbish, Yaya Sanogo. He's really not a good footballer at all. And you don't want to have a look at someone like Charlie Austin or Dele Alli or someone like that from a lower league, just because they play.
Exactly, the quality is there, and that's what I was. That's what makes me a little bit cross. But
it's mad. It's absolutely mad that you wouldn't do that, because, how do you know their quality if you don't even have a look at them? Like, how can you make a judgment on something you don't even know? Like, it's not like he's been stung by it in the past by getting players from lower leagues and it not working out.
The difference is he buys them from lower leagues but farms them, either loans them out or plays them in the Arsenal reserves, and then they it's like, they might break through to the Arsenal team, but actually no, they won't, and then they're gone in like. I remember Ryan Smith. He was quality for the reserves. So I went and saw him. He's going to be amazing. I think the same with was it Luke Ayling? I think he's at Plymouth now or something like that. And everyone was raving about it. Oh yeah, and there was I think Luke Freeman as well, and somebody else rather. And none of them. It's like well, in 3 years, right? See ya. What could have been, but no. So
but I look at players also like J. Emmanuel Thomas and Sanchez Watt, and these types of players who, okay, maybe not mentality wise the best in the world, but it's just quality players and have got something about them. You got to remember as well, people like Laurent Koscielny was playing for Lorient in the second division of the French Football League, and
I mean, for me, that is I think that's one of Wenger's best acquisitions.
I mean, it's amazing, but Olivier Giroud as well was playing in the second league, and then he went to Montpellier, won the league with Montpellier, their first league title ever.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
And he takes a punt on them, but not a punt on someone like that kid from Derby, Will Hughes. Will Smith. Will Hughes.
Smith,
yeah.
Will Smith.
Will Hughes. Yeah.
You got me started. You got me there.
But Will Hughes, a talented player, and everyone's looking at him at the minute. It's been rumours flying around since the kid was 16, I think. Chelsea are looking at him, Liverpool, Arsenal interested, United are interested for him. Someone have a punt. Like, Charlie Austin's only 26 years old. He's not an old guy. He's only going to get better in the next 2 years. And if you win the league twice out of 2 years, who cares? £4 million.
Yeah, really, yeah. I think we'll wrap things up there, Jack.
All right, mate.
If you would like to join the chat, you can obviously join us on the Facebook group. You can get hold of us on Twitter at @e_ArsenalNet, all one word. Jack, what's your handle?
My Twitter handle is @diamond__Jack.
Thank you very much. To say we should hopefully be getting a few new voices indeed for the next couple of weeks. So fingers crossed with that. In fact, before we go, Chelsea prediction.
I don't like making predictions. I predict
riot.
Well, no. Look at you. I predict 3-0 Arsenal. Ooh. Yeah. 3-0.
Sound of incredulity from... Whoa. It's caught me off guard, that.
I'll get to like an hour before kick-off in about one.
I say Sanchez is going to play, isn't he? Sanchez is going to play.
Yeah. Ozil's going to play again.
Yeah.
And then he's going to break
something.
Yeah, Matic in half within the first 10 minutes.
Or Fabregas'
eyes. Yeah.
Cheers will go up.
Boot Fabregas right up in the air.
I'll go 2-1, I think.
Okay.
Us.
I hope so.
Yeah, I could stay firmly on the fence and then just say 2-1. Thank you very much. I've been Neil, your host. You can get me on Twitter at the 91st Neil. That's the 91STNEIL. And we'll see you next Sunday after the Chelsea game. Thanks for listening.
Come on, Gunners.